Welcome to Portland City Hall. This is the Wednesday afternoon, September 18th session of the Portland City Council. We welcome you all. Carla, please call the roll.
Hardesty,
Here.
Udaley,
Here. Sorry. I just assumed you were going to.
Sorry, take two.
Take two. Start
Take
over.
two.
Sorry.
Carla, good afternoon.
afternoon.
Please call the roll.
Hardesty,
Here.
Udaley, Fritz,
Here.
Fish, Wheeler.
Here. And now we're going to hear from legal counsel on the rules of decorum. I think we can give the short version today.
Well, the shortened version, I'll wing this then. Welcome to City Council. The City Council is an opportunity for all Portlanders to speak, so please speak when your turn is given. Please don't boo or hiss. If you want to express agreement, raise your thumbs, and if you want to express disagreement, you can give a thumbs down.
Perfect. Well done. Thank you. Carla, we have one item this afternoon. Could you please read the item?
Item 885, proclaim September 15 to October 15, 2019 to be Latinx Heritage Month.
Colleagues, I'd like to start by thanking Commissioner Fritz and her entire team for bringing this proclamation to the City Council. I'd also like to thank Ivan Hernandez, Pepe Moscoso? Moscoso. Thank you, sir. Javar Requena and Tatiana Elahalde for coming to Council today to speak in support of this important proclamation. It's important for us as a city to recognize how members of our community have contributed to economic growth, culture, and civil rights. I'd like to take this moment to recognize the sheer number of Latinx civil servants and their many contributions to our city. Thank you for your service to our community. Thank you for your service to the City of Portland. I'm proud of Portland's status as a sanctuary city. Under my leadership as mayor, the City of Portland will remain a welcoming, safe, and inclusive place for all people, regardless of their immigration status. Commissioner Fritz, thank you for bringing this forward today.
Thank you for co-sponsoring this year's Latinx Heritage Month proclamation with me, Mayor. It's also my honor to welcome all of our guests, including our speakers, Ivan Hernandez, who's Communication Manager for Immigration Rights Organization CAUSA, and Pepe Moscoso, surreal pop artist, gallery owner, and educator. Thank you both for being here. If you'd like to come on up. The theme for the 2019 Hispanic Heritage Month is Hispanic Americans, a History of Serving Our Nation. The city employs many veterans, including Javar Requena, who is also joining us today. Javar served in the Army, works for the Bureau of Human Resources, and is a Latinx PDX Affinity Group member. It's nice to see you all here, along with Tatiana Elahalde, and we'll hear from Ivan first, please.
Thank you.
At least that's what my notes say. If that's not what you're planning to do, just take it away.
Wait, who starts? Me? I guess I'll start. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ivan Hernandez. I am with CAUSA, which is Oregon's Immigrant Rights Organization. And I'm here to say, well, first, thank you for acknowledging the contributions and the culture that communities bring and enrich our city with. And I wanted to let you all know a little bit about CAUSA. CAUSA in the past year, we've advocated and lobbied for different policy, including the HB 2015, which is driver's license bill that will grant driver's licenses to all of Oregon's residents, regardless of immigration status. And just this past fall, well, I guess last fall, in 2018, we helped protect our state sanctuary law when over 63% of Oregonians agreed with the city of Portland, that we should not be profiled by the way we look or the way we talk. Also, I want to thank the city of Portland, not only for being a sanctuary city, but also for the task force and work group that works to protect those. And also thank you for your support on universal representation, which allows all people in the state, legal counsel when they are needed. As we know, unfortunately, some people as young as 2 years old have to represent themselves in the immigration court. And with this fund and support from the city of Portland and, people have legal as assistance and have an attorney there present with them now to be able to defend themselves. We're also happy to announce that we were able to expand that because of our work here in the city of Portland statewide. So thank you so much for that. And also mention that we have come a long ways, but we still have a long ways to go. We have to protect the gains we made and strive to do more. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for, once again, acknowledging our community, acknowledging our culture, and thank you for what you've done for our communities, and we hope to keep working together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor Wheeler and City of Portland Commissioners. My name is Pepe Moscoso. I'm a visual artist, cultural art producer, and creative consultant, and as well lawyer in Mexico. I have been living in Portland for the last 14 years. And as I say, I'm originally from Mexico. Maybe you noticed my accent from Portland. I'm just kidding. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here and talk about the importance of the Latinos in our community. You know, as an immigrant, we wear many hats. Why? Because we are moving from our own culture to be the best version of ourselves in the place that we are now living. As an immigrant, wearing these hats, we try to bring the best of our own nation, and not just as hard workers, as well as artists, producers, all the cultural elements that create our own identity. For me, being involved in all these projects and programs during the past 14 years in Portland, Oregon, helped me to understand how important we are, how important we are here in the nation, and how much we are putting on the table to create and build a better nation. And as well, you know, every person that move and install themselves in a new place to live, they have challenge and opportunities. And as an artist and as a producer, we learn from this challenge, and we take the best opportunity to do the best for the community and for our families. You know, now we have many Mexican Americans living in the United States. And as a 100% Mexican, I now want to give the best to my kids, to tell them where are the roots and where are we coming from, and what we are now doing here as a Latinos living in the United States. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to finish my conversation with one quote that has been very important for me. The need for connection and community is primal, as fundamental as the need for air, water, and food. Danny Orish. We need community. We need to build relations. This is the time that we are changing. We are becoming world citizens, and we need to accept each other. And I'm going to end my conversation with this question, sorry. Why we don't accept the change? Why taking us so much to understand that now we are building a nation of many people from many places and many colors? Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Javar Rickena. I am an immigrant. I came here on a visa. Well, actually was already in the States, but I had a green card growing up before I joined the military. I spent 8 years in the military in the 82nd Airborne Division out of Fort Bragg. I've been to Iraq, Afghanistan, traveled most of this world to defend this country. Being a person that comes outside of this country and defend it as I am an American, because I am, that's what I feel like that I am. I shed blood like everyone else did. Carried bodies to the medevacs, to taking bullets, taking coming fire, the whole shebang. War is hell, to be honest with you. And it doesn't matter, the bullet doesn't matter what color, race you are, where you come from. It doesn't matter. It matters that the person on your left, your right, make sure they come back home. That's what matters. It doesn't matter because they come from the same country you come from, the United States of America. And those things are important. I think as a country, we've lost those ideas of partnership, brotherhood, and everything else that comes along with living the American way. I know everything is saying is America's American pie, but I think that's changed a lot because it's a melting pot of different cultures. And I think we need to accept those things as something that, as a country of immigrants, we've lost that. We should do more to accept one another because that's what makes America great, is each other. Everyone comes with different unique differences, different backgrounds. The cool thing about the 82nd was It was called the All-Americans for a reason. That's the nickname of the 82nd Airborne Division. As people from across this country. My best friend was a Caucasian fellow, I was Irish, from West Virginia, and we shared a lot of different similarities. We both grew up poor. He had a taste for Mountain Dew I could not understand. He couldn't even explain to me why that was just his drink of choice. But we became best friends, and I still talk to him to this day. I still love that guy. And it's the bonds you build, the brotherhood you have, those blood brothers that you would never forget. You remember the times when times are hard, when it's difficult, when you are in enemy fire and stuff that you can't really truly get out of, but there's the people to your left and your right who you depend on. And those are things that matter. That's America in a nutshell, is depending on one another. And being an employee within the city, I'm thankful for just having this platform to express those ideals. I've been in the city for 5 years as an employee, but I've been living in the city for 10 years. And as the city of Portland is progressive, I mean, of course, a lot of things need to change, like anything else. But as a city entity, we should do more for veterans. I think I've been on this platform before explaining that veterans need help. But there's a lot of us that's out here just want to be part of something bigger. We just don't have the opportunity or know how to reach out to even do those things because we're not from that. We're very selfless. In other words, we'd rather let somebody else take the position than ourselves because in our minds, they deserve it more. But we all deserve to kind of be selfish sometimes to actually take the step and move forward. But thank you for giving the platform. Thank you for the organization. Thank you for allowing me to talk.
Thank you
so
for
much.
speaking. We appreciate it. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
As a former Navy vet myself, I can tell you that you are absolutely correct that we don't honor veterans enough in this city. I spoke at the stand down on September the 11th, and it kind of breaks your heart to think people gave so much and get so little back. And so I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you sharing your story. And we can and must do better by veterans. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for being here. Now, Mayor Wheeler is that's the end of your presentation, right? Yeah? I believe that Mayor, what I've got in my instructions, which I try to follow my staff's instructions, is that Mayor Wheeler is going to read the English version, then Tatiana Elahaldi of the Office of Equity and Human Rights, and also a Latinx PDX member, is going to read the Spanish version. After that, we'll have council comments, and then photographs and cheering and celebrations.
Very good. So I like to start these off by saying these are more than words to us. These are values that the council has ascribed to, that we agree with, and by extension, the community. Whereas Portlanders self-identify as Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, Chicano, Indigenous, or country of origin American, and this heritage extends historically over 5 centuries, thriving as a consistent and vital influence in our country's food, culture, language, economic growth, and prosperity. And whereas Latinx culture is tied to indigenous, African, Asian, and Iberian ancestry and historical roots, the rich tapestry of our culture recognizes that Latinx are multiracial, multicultural, and multilingual. The Latinx population represents people with origins from the Caribbean, Central America, North America, South America, and many, many other places around the world. And whereas growing at the same pace as the nation, Oregon's most recent data shows that 13.3% of the state's population is now Latinx. Since 2010, Oregon has added nearly 91,000 Latinx residents. In Portland, there are 67,551 people of Latinx descent, making up 10.9% of the city's population. While Portland's overall population grew by 1.3% between 2016 and 2017, the rate of growth for the city's Latinx population was 3.8% during the same time period. Whereas in 2017, 66.4% of Latinx in Portland were native-born, growing by 12%, while the foreign-born population has grown by 1%. The median age for Latinx in Portland is 28.4 years. 1 in 4 kindergartners identify as Latinx. And whereas Latinx have supported Portland's economy with myriad of contributions in the fields of commerce, science, technology, public health, agriculture, winemaking, dairy, and many, many more areas. Today, their purchasing power in Portland is nearly $4 billion, and 15,000 businesses are owned by Latinx entrepreneurs. Whereas people of Latinx heritage are often subject to discrimination and underrepresentation, and whereas Portland recognizes the many organizations, institutions, and people supporting the Latinx community to overcome disparities in economic and housing opportunities, as well as health and educational outcomes, working tirelessly to ensure that they remain a flourishing community. And whereas continued access to jobs and livable wages for Oregon Latinx is essential for our state to thrive, Latinx currently make up 7.1% of the City of Portland's workforce. To help connect more Latinx to city jobs and to support them throughout their careers with the City of Portland, the Latinx PDX City Employee Affinity Group was reestablished in 2014. Latin PDX has reached over 80 members and continues to grow. And whereas city staff members in the Latinx community stand in solidarity with other communities of color and members of marginalized groups who continue to face discrimination and underrepresentation and are committed to working in unity to dismantle systems of oppression. And now, therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, the mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim September 15th to October 15th, 2019 to be Latinx Heritage Month in Portland and encourage all residents to observe this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Tatiana Lejalde, proud immigrant from Colombia, and work for the Office of Equity and Human Rights. Considerando que los Portlanders se autoidentifican como hispanos, latinos, latinx, chicanos, indígenas o orígenes estadounidenses, y este patrimonio se extiende históricamente a lo largo de 5 siglos, prosperando como una influencia constante y vital en la comida, la cultura, el idioma, el crecimiento económico de nuestro país y prosperidad. Y considerando que la cultura Latinx está ligada a orígenes y raíces históricas indígenas, africanas, asiáticas e ibéricas. El rico tapiz de nuestra cultura reconoce que los Latinx son multirracial, multicultural y multilingüe. La población Latinx representa personas con orígenes en América Central, América del Norte, América del Sur, el Caribe y muchos otros lugares del mundo. Considerando que el crecimiento al mismo ritmo que la nación, los datos más recientes de Oregon muestran que el 13.3% de la población del estado hoy en día es Latinx. Desde el 2010, Oregon ha agregado cerca de 91,000 residentes Latinx. En Portland hay 67,551 personas de origen Latinx, que representan el 10.9% de la población de la ciudad. Si bien la población general de Portland creció 1.3% entre el 2016 y 2017, la tasa de crecimiento de la población Latinx de la ciudad fue de 3.8% durante el mismo periodo. Considerando que en el 2017 el 66.4% de la población Latinx en Portland nacieron en el país, creciendo en un 12%, mientras que la población nacida en el extranjero creció solo 1%. La edad mediana para Latinx en Portland es de 28.4 años. 1 de cada 4 niños de kindergarten se identifica como Latinx. Y considerando que la población Latinx ha apoyado la economía de Portland con miles de contribuciones en los campos de comercio, ciencia, tecnología, servicio público, salud, agricultura, producción de vinos, lácteos y más. Hoy su poder adquisitivo en Portland es de casi 4,000 millones y 15,000 negocios con propiedad de empresarios Latinx. Y considerando que las personas de herencia Latinx a menudo son sujetas a discriminación y subrepresentación, y considerando que Portland reconoce a las muchas organizaciones, instituciones y personas que apoyan a la comunidad Latinx a superar las disparidades en oportunidades económicas y de vivienda, así como los resultados de salud y educación, trabajando incansablemente para garantizar que sigan siendo una comunidad florecente. Y considerando que el acceso continuo a empleos y salarios dignos para Oregon Latinx es esencial para que nuestro estado próspero, Latinx actualmente representan el 7.1% de la fuerza laboral de la ciudad de Portland. Para ayudar a conectar a la comunidad Latinx a más empleos con la ciudad y apoyarlos a lo largo de sus carreras, el Grupo de Afinidad de Empleos de Latinx PDX City se restableció en el 2014. Latinx PDX ha alcanzado a más de 80 miembros y continúa creciendo. Considerando que los miembros del personal de la ciudad en la comunidad Latinx se solidarizan con otras comunidades de color y miembros de grupos marginados y subrepresentados que enfrentan discriminación y subrepresentación y se comprometen a trabajar en unidad para desmantelar los sistemas de opresión. Y ahora, por lo tanto, yo, Ted Wheeler, alcalde de la ciudad de Portland, Oregon, por la presente proclamo que del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre del 2019 será mes de herencia cultural Latinx en Portland y animo a todos los residentes a observar este mes. Gracias.
Thank you. And does that complete the presentation?
That completes the presentation. If either of you would like to say anything, and then I have some closing comments.
I just want to thank each of you for coming here, and I think it's absolutely fabulous that Commissioner Fritz and Mayor Wheeler co-sponsored this ordinance today. It's important that we recognize all the cultures that call Portland home, and so thanks for being here.
I don't have a great speech, but I just wanted to say thanks. I appreciate this, and I'm just curious, how many of you are members of Latinx PDX? So quite a few. That's great. And so we'd like to obviously see that continue to grow. You know, speaking now as part of the city team here, I think it's really important to help not only expand the reach of our community here in Portland and potentially share ideas about who else we should be encouraging to come and work with us here on our important mission at the City of Portland. But it also, I think, helps people who are coming from other places who work for the City of Portland to feel more welcomed and more connected to what we're doing here. We know that we're pretty good at recruiting. We're less than pretty good when it comes to making sure that people feel connected and supported in their jobs here. And so retention really needs to continue to be something important that we do. And I really resounded with the comments about the importance in this day and age of feeling like you belong. At a time where it just seems as a society we are hell-bent on dividing people, this is an opportunity to really bring people together and stand not only for them as individuals, but also stand for really important values that are being tested during these difficult times. So we are trying to counter the tide of negativity and hostility and hate and division by being supportive and inclusive and bringing people together. And this is one really cool way that I think all of us here at the City of Portland are working with community groups and leaders in the community to really try and live that value. So my hat's off to you. I salute you. It's not all sitting in City Hall. I've been handed this little memo. There's fun associated with this, and it says, following the council presentation, all are welcome to join us in the City Hall atrium for refreshments and entertainment. So that sounds like a lot of fun, particularly given that we have a relatively short agenda today. So the atrium is downstairs, fun, refreshments, music, a DJ, should be really cool.
You gonna sing?
No, I'm going to do you all a favor because I like many of you here in this room, so I'm not going to sing today. But I would have a simple request. I'd like it if we could please gather here in front. Commissioner Fritz, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I apologize.
That's all right.
After Commissioner Fritz, if we could just gather for a photograph, that'd be a lot of fun. Thank you,
You do
Commissioner
usually
Fritz.
get to do have the last word, but this time I thought I would.
You've
just,
earned it.
you know.
You've earned it.
And we do want to thank the refreshments are courtesy of El Coqui, which is Puerto Rican cuisine, and there are special performances by Joaquin Lopez and Michael Cavazos and DJ Chach. So we appreciate them for sharing their time and talents. I am really grateful to each one of you for coming today and for Javar and Tatiana, our Great City employees, for the work that you do each and every day. Our Latinx community is resilient, diverse, brilliant, has so much to offer our community, and indeed does give so much to our community. And I'm really grateful that each of you took the time to come today for the work that the Latinx PDX and the Affinity Group does with our city jobs in providing support. I've been a long-time supporter of the affinity groups, and I think it's really important that not only do we share our diversity in different situations with different kinds of people, but occasionally we get together and talk about the ways that each of our affinity groups has similarities and challenges, and how do we address those and celebrate those. I've seen the value that the Latinx PDX has done. You co-created a culturally specific leadership development program. You coordinated a Know Your Rights panel. You hosted a deferred action for childhood arrivals exhibit, curated an interactive art installation in the Portland building. You've informed policy development and much, much more. And so I'm very grateful. All of this has been on personal time. We really appreciate that. We're going to be bringing to council a recommendation created in as well with the Partnership of Human Resources to actually have paid time for attending affinity groups meetings so that people don't have to feel torn between their job and putting in this other special work. We also thank Biketown and the Portland Bureau of Transportation for sponsoring Heritage Month activities, including a lunchtime bike ride from Terry Shrunk Plaza to Kiosco Coffee tomorrow morning. Commissioner Udaley and Commissioner Fish are both sick this afternoon. I know that they are both wishing they could be here. And we thank the Portland Bureau of Transportation in particular. Oh, here's something interesting. Biketown is rolling out a limited number of Latinx cultures-themed bikes as part of their culture collection. One of the Latinx bikes will be displayed downstairs during the reception following this presentation. So there's another reason to go down and have a look what's going on there. And finally, thank you for this year's 2019 Latinx Heritage Month Planning Committee, Cynthia Castro from my office, Linda Castillo from Civic Life, Tatiana Elihaldi from the Office of Equity and Human Rights, Francisca Garcia of the Office of Management and Finance, Samuel Garcia from the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability, Tony Garcia from the City Attorney's Office, Eric Pacheco from the Water Bureau, and Michelle Rodriguez from Civic Life. Thank you all for all of the time that you put in and for celebrating here today. Now we can do the picture.
Thank you. And Carla, we are adjourned. Could we just...